Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Alonso, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, I'm excited to kick off day 4 of the May class for the 5-day podcast day challenge. The topic of today is crafting your irresistible Godfather offer. And at the end, we'll have another powerhouse of a guest speaker, my dear friend and my publisher, Mary Gooden. We've done 4 books together. 2, me as a contributor to one of their multi-authored book, and 2 as me inviting people, guests on my podcast. The last one was launched at the end of January, #1 international bestseller, as all of her books. She's launched, I don't know, a gazillion of those books. That's how she got my attention. We got on a call. She was actually one of my guests on my podcast way back around 3 years ago in the summer of 2021. And then I kept seeing her launching one book after another every almost 6 weeks, and all of them #1. So what is this woman doing? We got on a call, and next thing you know, she convinced me that I can be an author. And next thing you know, I'm a 4-time #1 international best-selling author. Thank you, Mary. Always a pleasure playing with you, as you love saying it, co-creating magic. So let's get going. First of all, let me fire up my slides. Oh, here. There you go. Do you guys see my slides? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. On present mode. So today we're going on day 4, one more day, and we're going to complete this powerful, fun, interactive, and transformational challenge. So before we start, so this is today's agenda. Creating your laser-focused Godfather offer. We're going to take what we learned yesterday and amplify that, taking your clarity as to your zone of genius, your gifts, and then see how we can, with that, we can create our Godfather offer. And there's one key, crucial, non-negotiable element that is called your quantifiable, measurable end result. I'm going to share that with you, explain that to you in a moment. And then we're going to brainstorm together, play and have fun, and create your own, each of you, your own irresistible Godfather offer. And at the end, I will give the floor to Mary. But before we do it, Mary, are you ready? Let's do. I want you to sing your anthem.
Am I ready? Am I ready?
And that
Are
also become my anthem and your anthem. Let's go.
On a 1, on a 2, on a 1, 2, 3. I'm so excited.
Everybody
and
listen.
I just can't hide it.
Come on, everybody.
To lose control, and I think I like it.
I like it.
I'm so excited.
Excited.
And I just can't hide it. Oh,
Can't
come
hide it.
on. I'm about to lose control, and I think
I like it.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. We have quite a talented group here. Mary for singing, and Paul, brother, you will be the dancing king, man. Seriously.
Don't tell my wife. Don't tell my wife that. As the DJ that I've been for many years, that's all I know how to do is stand behind the table and dance.
Yeah. Well, your wife can join us and sing with Mary. And I saw also Christine as a powerful singer. You know?
I like singing.
Plus, she's got the style. I love the hat. I'm a hat guy, so I love the hat, you know? Matchy hat. Awesome, guys. Cool. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, all of you guys. So, before we start, any question from day 3? Speak now or hold your peace forever. Any question? Once, twice? Did you guys do the brainstorming yesterday as to regarding identifying your zone of genius and your gifts and your avatar? You're nodding your head, Christine. Good. Good student. Okay. Anyone else? I take that as a resounding yes.
I have a kind of question on yesterday. So as far as like format goes, how do you feel about asking, I guess, really the same question over and over again, the same, like having kind of like a fun group of 5 questions that you ask absolutely everyone and seeing the differences in response.
Absolutely.
How do you feel?
Yes, I have those as well. My favorite question to ask, and that's the last question I ask every single guest on my podcast, and that is, What is the smallest thing you've done that has had the greatest, deepest, most profound transformation in both your life and your business? And by small, I don't mean something small. I mean the one thing. For example, for me, it's been starting my podcast. That completely changed and transformed my life and blessed me in countless ways. So that's a question I ask everybody, no exception. Another question I like asking is, for example, I asked them, hey, do you like traveling? Say, yes. So let me take you down another type of traveling, down memory lane. Remember when we kids growing up, our parents, relatives, teachers, friends, neighbors always ask us, hey, Matthew, what do you want to become when you grow up? What was your answer to that question as a young boy? That's a fun question. Ask him some fun questions, not the same boring, what's your business? What do you do? How do you get your clients? And all the same old boring questions. Be unique. Again, I hope by now you guys understand that business, at least for me, when I interview someone, is to get to know them first and foremost as a person, as a human being, as a man, as a woman, to get a glimpse of their personality, their character. These are the kind of questions I like to ask, to really dive deeper into that, because that's where the magic happens. That's when the rapport, the trust is built. So ask those kind of questions. And sure, I would also suggest maybe insert 1 or 2 or at most 3 key questions to further vet your guest so that they're a good fit for your business in a soft way. But don't ask them straight off the bat. Ask them towards maybe the middle or the end of when you talk about their business. So by then you have a certain amount of rapport already established. As to what other questions you can ask, really depends on you. What is your niche? What is your avatar? What is your zone of genius? What is your gift? What is your number one pain point you're solving, and for who? There's not a one fit all answer for everyone. But ultimately, it is your podcast, your show. You run the show. You're the boss.
Awesome.
Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I see some other people, maybe other people coming in. Let me add them. No, okay. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so let's move on. Oops. So again, let's start. Okay, the keys to a Godfather offer. Again, it all starts with one thing, and one thing all that have been, repeating always throughout this week, and I'm going to repeat for the rest of the week, and that is clarity. Clarity is the name of the game. You need to have clarity on the following keys. First of all, what is the number one pain point you're solving and addressing through your podcast, your messaging, your offer, and your business? There is specific clarity as to what is your avatar, your ideal client, prospect, audience, tribe, and so on and so forth. Remember what I said? Ultimately, your avatar is you. Just a few steps ago, when you were starting, build your podcast, your offer, your messaging, your business, the way you wished existed when you were starting. And last but definitely not least, you need to have a time frame. People want to know how long it's going to take them to achieve the results that they will get by working with you. And I'm going to expand on that further in a moment. So these are, I would say, the 3 non-negotiables factors in terms of creating an irresistible Godfather offer. Okay, 2 more people coming in. Randy, beautiful. Okay, awesome. Okay, now, again, you already understand by now that how important it is to be specific on one specific pain point, and that pain point is based on your zone of genius, on your gift. Is not something that you would have to do any research. No, that's not what we're going for. We're going for something that you can speak from the heart in a passionate way, and something that you've overcome yourself, and you will be basically just sharing your story. And in the process, also displaying your expertise, because that's also part of your crap is basically your gift. That's what I'm trying to say in a nutshell. And again, the more specific, the more magnetic your message will be, the more compelling your offer will be. That is very important. Ultimately, that's going to drastically affect the conversions for you from your podcast and your offer and your business. All right. So again, everything is about clarity as to what is your zone of genius, your gift, the number one pain point you're solving, and for who. Having clarity as to what is and what is your exact ideal client avatar. Ideally, someone that resembles you as much as possible, someone that can identify with you, relate with you, resonate with you. Even more ideally, your avatar is you just a few steps away, a few steps ago. So let's take a couple of answers. I want to hear, what is your avatar? Let's start. I'm gonna go from top to left on my screen. Paul. In one sentence.
Individuals who are seeking to find their identity and be uplifted by leaders who inspire.
Okay, love that. That's a great start. We're gonna hone in and specify that even more. So that's a great start. Christine.
Yes. Over my lifetime, I've experienced traumatic events. I've experienced accidents, and I've recovered mentally and physically from those. I understand exactly what people go through, and the knowledge that I have gained through studies and having my own business for 20 years has given me the ability to help people, empower people to be masters of their wellness journey. And I do that through seminars, coaching, consulting, and music.
Beautiful. Love that. We're going to dive deeper into that. One more. Let me hear one more. Who wants to go forward?
I'd love to.
Please go ahead.
My avatar is ideally 35 to 65-year-olds, man or woman, who've been grappling with the effects of childhood trauma and are ready to find the shifts that they're looking for.
Okay, that's a great start. We will need to be more specific as to some key elements of what you just mentioned. Gonna give you the blueprint or template for that in a moment. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Now, here's another extremely important element of a successful, irresistible Godfather offer, and that is a time frame. How long is it going to take the prospect to reach that? For example, let me help you get your first paying client in 30 days, within 30 days, by leveraging the power of LinkedIn or Facebook. That's very specific, because you want your offer to be so specific, so clear, that when your avatar sees it, reads it, or hears it, he or she will, the only question they all have in their mind is, okay, beautiful, what's the next step? How do we get started? As opposed to, what does he mean? How do I do that? What do I need to do? How long is it going to take me? And so on and so forth. That's why it's extremely important for your message to be very specific, that includes exactly for who it is, what is the benefit they're going to get by doing what, and how long. These are the key elements I'm going to explain deeper with you today. Here's another powerful, a very powerful principle that I learned from one of my coaches that I love. Some of you might have heard about him, Dan Henry. Have you guys heard of Dan Henry? He's a super, super successful coach. Now he's retired from coaching, but still, he's amazing. And one of the elements from him that I learned, that I've been applying into my business and teaching my students, that is having a QMER, quantifiable, measurable, and result. Quantifiable, measurable, and result. What is it you're doing? How long it's going to take? For example, here's some example here. These are real life examples, either from my business or my students. For example, my quantifiable, measurable, and result is launch your profitable podcast in 3 weeks. It's very specific. And if I want to be even more specific, I can add in 30 days, and 1 hour a day, even if you have no audience, without spamming and without cold calling. That's something I can add, for example. Or for example, monetize your podcast 30 days after launch. Or find your first paying client in 30 days by leveraging the power of LinkedIn. Or lose 10 pounds in 30 days with only one exercise in 10 minutes a day. That's very specific. Here's another example of an actual business. I was involved with one of my, a friend I met when I was living in Asia. He's a 7-figure Amazon seller. He had an Amazon course, but I told him, listen, how can we differentiate ourselves from all the other guys selling Amazon courses. All the other guys were saying, hey, let me help you become a six-figure Amazon seller or make $10,000 and so on and so forth. While that is good, someone with no experience of e-commerce, that's realistically impossible. Instead, frame it in a way that they can see that it's chewable, they can believe they can do it. And what we did was, let me help you find, source, select, and launch your first product within 90 days on Amazon. And once you've mastered the skills to launch your first product, then we can replicate those skills to launch your second, your third, and fourth, and then hit your goals, whatever they are. Same thing for, let's say, if you're a coach, let's say, instead of saying, let me help you become a six-figure coach or a seven-figure coach or make 10,000 or whatever a month. For someone who's never done it, that's almost impossible. It's overwhelming. Instead, if you were to tell them, hey, let me help you, let me show you how to get your first paying client within 30 days, organically, without ad spend or anything like that, without spamming, by leveraging the power of Facebook groups. Now, that's very specific. They can believe they can do it. Because when someone sees an offer, there are three questions going in their mind. Number one, is this person competent? Can I trust him or her? And number three, she did it, he did it, they did it. What about me? Can I do it? That's the ultimate question. If you can help them understand and realize that they can do it, then it's game over. It's a done deal. And how do you achieve that? By having extreme laser focus clarity. So what is it they're getting? What pain point is solving? For who? And how long? This is key. How long is it going to take them to achieve the result? The smaller, sorry, that's not the right way, not the smaller. Give them something that they can realistically believe they can do it. What is more believable to someone with no experience? Becoming a six-figure coach or getting your first paying client within 30 days? What is more realistic? It's obvious, right? And once you've mastered the skills to get your first paying client, all you have to do is just replicate those skills to get your second, your third, your fourth, and before you know it, you've reached your goals. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, good. And I'm gonna show you more examples of that. Here's a very powerful quote that I saw not long ago from another very successful coach, and that is, the client has to care about the problem before they care about the solution you and your offer. Let me repeat that. The client, the customer, has to care about the problem before they can care about the solution you and your offer. If you go to someone and say, hey, I have a $5,000 offer that's going to help you, whatever, unstock your mind or whatever, they're going to say, okay, so what? So what that does mean is that we need first to educate them. What is the problem? Why the problem is here? What will be the consequence of them not taking action, and so on and so forth. Here's an example. For example, we need to educate our audience. In order to achieve that, we need to educate the client on four key things. One, what is exactly the specific problem? Number two, why the reason persists? Why the problem exists in the first place? Second, consequence of the problem. And third, what is the ultimate outcome as a result of the inaction? For example, from if I were to implement that in my business, would be the number one reason most coaches struggle to get leads or any client is because they lack clarity. When they lack clarity, their messaging is diluted. It doesn't connect with the audience. The audience cannot resonate, relate, identify with them. When that happens, they don't get any traction. And when we don't get any traction, they're not getting any leads. And when they don't get any leads, they're not getting any business. And before long, the business is dying slowly. So that's how you implement that into, you need to educate them before you go and sell them what you offer. Explain to them what is the problem, why the problem is here, what is the consequence of the problem, and what is the ultimate consequence, negative consequence of them not taking action. And then you show them, you tell them, hey, there is a proven blueprint. Because if you educate them about the problem, tell them why the problem is here, what is the consequence if you don't take action, and then you show them, hey, there's a better way, without even mentioning your program. They will see you as a leader, as an expert. They will trust you, and they'll say, wow, tell me more. How do I solve this? As opposed to if you were to right away try to pitch them and tell them about, hey, buy this. Why should I buy it? I don't need it. There's no need for it. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Good to see
I
you,
have a
brother.
question.
Yes, sir.
Sounded like there was 4 basic things. It was show them the problem, how it affects them, the consequences if they don't take action, and then the solution. Is that kind of wrap it?
Almost. What is the problem? Why the problem exists in the first place? Consequence of the problem, and what is the ultimate negative outcome of them not taking action. I wouldn't even mention how to fix it at this stage. First, they need to understand and realize what is the problem and how is this going to harm or affect their life and their businesses if they don't do anything. So again, I want you guys to write and memorize this quote. The customer has to care about the problem first before they can care about the solution you and your offer. They need to
Most
understand.
people don't admit that they've got the
Yes, yes. They need to understand what is a problem, why it is a problem, and what is the ultimate price to pay if they don't take any action. Once they can come to that conclusion on their own or with your help, then they will ask, okay, so how do I fix this? That's just, he said, glad you asked. Here's the way. Without you
They
even
have to own
mentioning
it.
Yes. Again, we all have to be really authentic. We have to be really to put our egos to the side, to be coachable. I've gotten conversation with people who had obvious issues, but because they were not ready to admit it or being coachable, I just I didn't try to persuade them. I just kindly ended the conversation because there's no point. If a person is not willing to help themselves, nobody can help them. So they have to understand it first. So our goal, our job first and foremost is to educate them, show them, hey, there's a problem. What is a problem? Why is the problem here in the first place? Consequence of a problem, and what is the ultimate price to pay that you will pay if you don't take any action towards that? And once they fully understand that and realize that, and then we'll say, oh, wow, how do I fix this? Glad you asked. Let me show you. As opposed to, hey, I'm going to help you become a coach or launch a profit podcast and so on and so forth. No, that's okay. Because again, they need to understand the problem. That is key. Our goal, first and foremost, is to educate, not to sell, to educate. We are educators in our own ways. That's why it's so crucial that the topic that we're educating them is something that we have overcome ourselves, that we deeply, intimately understand, and that we're speaking from the heart without any agenda, because people will see through the BS. Because they will see if you're just trying to make a sale, they will see it and they will try to end the call as soon as possible. But if you sincerely want to help them, to serve them, to inspire them, and to educate them so that they can understand, realize what is the issue, why there's an issue, what is the consequence, and what is the ultimate price to pay if they don't take any action. Once they understand that with your help, and your help will come from you sharing your story, displaying your expertise, sharing how you've overcome it, how your other successful student client have been able to overcome the exact same situation. Remember what I said earlier, when someone is looking to hire a coach, they want someone that is 1, 2, 3, at most 4 steps ahead of them. Someone has gone through what they're going through, and also importantly, someone that is accessible and reachable, not a billionaire that is disconnected from the reality. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Does that answer your question, Matthew?
Yeah, and I apologize. I'm on an iPad, and so
No
I've
worries,
got to
brother.
press people's faces when they're talking to see them, and so I see the slides show at that moment.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
No worries, no worries, no worries. All right, let's move on. All right, here's the formula for crafting a GodFather Irresistible Offer. So I help call out your audience, not just people, entrepreneurs or men or women or no. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. Be as specific as possible. Someone that resembles you as much as possible. Someone that looks like you, that has gone through the same thing as you. And again, ideally, You are your avatar. You're building your offer, your messaging, your podcast, your business, the way you wished existed when you were starting on your journey. If you can achieve that, then it's game over, because you will be able to attract in a very compelling, natural, organic, magnetic way the people are going to what you just overcome. That's your goal. So again, for example, I help your client avatar solve problem with proven solution and within how long? And if you can have a guarantee, perfect. Or you can emphasize not on the outcome, but on the problem. You can emphasize on two things, either solving the problem or the outcome. For example, here another one. I help client avatar dream outcome without paint them the fear. Show them. Because again, your goal is for them to understand, realize that there is a problem, why the problem is here, and what's going to happen if you don't take any action. Let's say you're struggling to get leads, any visibility, you're not going to get any clients. You don't get any clients, you don't have a business. You don't have a business, you will be forced to get a job. That is something that they need to realize, understand, and own up to it. Okay, how do I fix this? But first, they need to understand it and understand how this can drastically affect their lives in a not so good way. So write this down, but also I'll be sharing the slides with you inside the Facebook group. So don't worry, it's all here. Here are some real life examples, either from my own past students or and all that. So here's some very specific ones. I help female executives, 40 plus years of experience, get with greater health, for example, reverse diabetes without drugs and expensive medical bills. That's very specific. If I were to add something, I would add maybe a time frame, say within 30, 60, however long is realistic in your niche. Don't make any outlandish claim that cannot be achieved, because then you'll be in trouble. Another one, I help male entrepreneurs in the 40s and 50s get their first paying client within 30 days using the power of Facebook groups. I help busy moms in the 30s lose 1 dress size in 30 days without going to the gym, with only 1 5-minute exercise per day. Very specific. Even the most busy mom will be able to find 5 minutes in a day if she's really committed. But first, she has to understand what is a problem, and how is the problem going to affect her if she doesn't take any action. Another one, I help single dads find, select, source, and launch their first product on Amazon within 90 days. That was the business I was mentioning earlier. Another one, this one comes from my the coaching call I had last night with my coach. And this is one of the examples he shared. I help introverted entrepreneurs gain unshakable confidence and land a TEDx talk without any presentation experience in as little as 30 days. That's a very powerful, compelling, magnetic offer. Again, call out your audience, your avatar. Either mention the pain point they're facing, or the dream outcome, and how long it's going to take them to do it, by doing what, so that once they see your offer, the only question in their mind, oh wow, what's the next step? How do we start? As opposed to, what does she mean? What is that gonna entail? What do I have to do? How long? And so on and so forth. So again, take those to write those down, maybe to get your creative juices flowing, and work on that on your own. And then share your answers inside the Facebook group tonight, later or tomorrow, so that tomorrow we can go through some of them. Let me check with the chat. Okay, Geraldine, I would ask my radio guest 2 key questions. Beginning, how to get to this point in your life. Love that. What is the most important message you want to leave with your audience? Love that. Thank you, Geraldine. Okay, yes, Steve, thank you for the question. Oh, is that from today or from another? Oh, sorry, that's from yesterday, my bad. Let me go from today. First paying client, okay. Paul, learn how to manifest the life you want, life on purpose, and gain supportive connections using the law of attraction in 30 minutes. That's beautiful, I love that. The specific is clear, but you need to call out your audience, Paul. Who is this for? I'm thinking about from disconnected to awareness to the 5 senses. Open the communication with your physical self within 8 weeks. That's beautiful, Natasha, but it's a bit vague. Let's make it more specific, more clear. Call out your audience, call them, identify what is the one specific pain point you're solving, and for who. So for example, if you're helping them to, from disconnect to awareness, what does that specifically mean?
The audience would be stress professionals that are in their between late like 40s to 50s who
Okay.
are struggling.
If you say stress professional, that's a great start. That's better, but be more specific. Stress professional, male, female, what age group, what industry. The more specific you can be, the more laser focused your message, the more magnetic your message will be. For example,
Well, the last one, my book is for emergency professionals.
okay.
So it's written for burnout and stress. So it fits in that area.
Okay, perfect. Mention that for emergency. What is it? Emergency professionals were burned out. Call them out. Mention them so they can again, hey, identify with you. Okay, sometimes it could be they don't know what they don't know. Exactly, and that's what I said. It's our job to educate them. Our main job here as coaches, as mentors, as guide, is to educate them. Make them understand and realize what is the issue they're facing. Because again, sometimes they don't even know it themselves. And that's where having heart-to-heart conversation on a podcast, deep listening, that's when you realize, hey, this is your zone of genius. This is where you're having issues. That's what I mean. All right, next. Here's my example of my offer. So I help authors and coaches with no audience, struggling to get leads, launch a profitable podcast to get clients on demand with a payment profitability podcast system in only 6 weeks. My program is called the Profitable Podcast Academy. And then the cheesy line at the bottom, I'm not using this line, but anyways, just to get your creative juices flowing. So again, call out your audience, tell them exactly what is the issue they're facing, or what is the dream outcome they will achieve by doing what, and how long is it going to get them to get that first meaningful win that's going to unlock their mind. Because what most people need is not to get right away to 6-figure or $10,000. All they need is to see, hey, they can get that first client, make that first dollar, lose that first pound, and they build momentum. They build momentum. Or for example, in case of if you want to write a book, writing a book can be overwhelming, daunting. There's nothing worse than you sitting in front of your computer with a blinking the blinking cursor. But what if you were to tell them, hey, you can start with just one sentence, one chapter, write the first page in the next 24 hours. That's something chewable, something you can manage, as opposed to writing a full book and say, wow, what am I going to write about? They're going to be completely overwhelmed. So again, give them something, a small, meaningful win that's going to build momentum and ultimately unlock all the confusion, all the mental blocks in the minds. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. So again, we already did that example. Oh, sorry. Now let's create your irresistible offer. Again, remember these 4 elements: quantifiable, measurable, and result. First of all, call out your audience. Yes, Randy?
Can I, I've got something scribbled down. I hope I can read it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm actually dealing with 2 subjects. One that I'm familiar with and have been very successful with, and another one I'm not. And I'm really struggling on the one I don't have experience with yet, but I can speak to the one that I have had success with. So, because I was a college basketball coach and I had a mentoring program for college aspiring coaches. So mine reads, I help aspiring college basketball coaches ages 18 to 30 build their network to the power of 6, establish a clean-cut brand, increase their tactical knowledge of coaching to 90%, and secure their first entry-level position within 12 months.
Love that. What I would say, that could be an amazing, what do you call it? The headline, I would say something short, sweet, and attention catcher. Hey, let me help you get your first gig in the next, however long is realistic for them to get it. We had this conversation yesterday. You said for someone fresh to get a job, is what, 6 to 12 months?
It takes a cycle. It takes a cycle. They usually start in the fall, so it takes until the spring or the summer.
Or
So
you can tell them, hey, let me help you land your first college gig by the time your next cycle starts. And then your sub-headline could be all of the above that you mentioned, all of the things they need to attain to reach that. But
so
again,
have one statement and then a sub-statement.
yes, the headline, which is
Got it.
something catchy, sexy, and attention grabber.
Yep.
So that would be, for example, aspiring basketball coaches, college coaches. Let me help you land your first gig by the time the next cycle starts.
Right.
Or if you want to quantify that, you can add, hey, within how long? 30 days, 60 days, whatever long is realistic, and however long you can deliver. That's very important. You need to deliver on your promises. If not, you don't have a business.
Yeah. 9 to 12 months.
Okay. Is there any ways you can shorten that?
It's possible. We have had some guys go quicker, but
Okay.
it's really difficult because during the season, which basically lasts from August until April, nobody wants to deal with who their next entry level coach is going to be. It's not an important thing at all, right? But once the season ends, then they start, because then they need a couple, coaches on their staff. They usually lose 2 and get 2. So
Okay.
that's why it's more of a cycle.
Okay. We will be having a call next week. We can brainstorm further.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any feedback, any comments or tips for Randy? Matthew, you're going to be next. I see you raising your hand. Okay.
I wanted to say, Randy, reach out to me on Facebook because I have someone who's interested in becoming a professional coach. So
there you go. Magic of attending live events. Thank you.
Okay, I sure will.
And then also something you might think about is you could have in your statement something about during off season. So like, it'll take X amount of time if it's in the off season.
Right. Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Love that. Love that. Yes, please connect the 2 of you. Yes. Matthew, you're next. I mean, you raised your hand, and then Carrie after.
Oh, for my avatar.
Your avatar, your offer, your statement. You raised your hand.
I was thinking about this last night, and I've been bouncing between specifically addressing business professionals or specifically addressing professional athletes.
Again, look at what I covered yesterday. Look at your professional background, first way. Second, look at your innate natural God-given talents. If you have any high income skill, or if you, whatever challenge you've overcome in your life. These are the best places to look as to what you can build your offer, your messaging, your podcast, your business on, so you can speak from the art and help that specific person at the highest level. So again, one thing I would recommend all of you guys this weekend is and this is what I do my students in my academy, take a piece of paper, map out your life. Look at all of the crap you have to overcome in your life. And then at the bottom, ask 2 questions. What did I learn? What was that trying to teach me? And then look at that sheet of paper and see which one speaks the loudest to you. And the one that speaks the loudest, the one that was the most painful, but yet at the most transformation, for lack of a better word, then that's what I would listen to your heart, to your gut feeling. Where is you more passionate about? And that can be your tip, as to what to build your messaging around.
Okay. Well, that being said, I've had a lot of success both in business, achieving things that most people thought were impossible. And off of the cuff, I saw that I'm a corporate dropout in the thing. It's like, whoa, I left the corporate scum when I was in my early 20s and went to doing what I love, which is snow sports. So I would have to say that off the cuff, my avatar would be I help people who have hit a plateau in their professional sports field permanently eliminate the fears from their unconscious mind, allowing them to move forward without willpower so they can use divine inspiration instead within 30 days.
That's beautiful, but that's way too vague, brother. Instead of people, I would say someone very specific. Instead of fears and all that, focus on their number one pain point. So they all have all kinds of fears, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fears. Focus on the number one fear, and then fear number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. They can be beautiful upsells, or you can cover them as sub chapters inside your program. But your program, your offer, your messaging is built around one specific pain point. If you were if you were to take that route, your message will be very specific, laser focused. It would really speak not just the heart, but the soul of the person you're targeting, as opposed to people or helping them unlock their mind. These are beautiful missions, but they're vague. Because if I were your prospect and listen to say by people, what does it mean? Is that for me? How can I overcome my whatever is trying to say? How can I unlock my mind? What does it mean specifically? The more specific, again, this guys, the more specific, the more magnetic your message will be. The name of the game is clarity and being magnetic.
Question.
Yes, sir.
As soon as you said that, I immediately jumped to Professional Snow Sports of America and the fact that there's such a small percentage that ever make it to their level 3 or the top end of things. Do people ever, or have you found that you have a different pitch or a different avatar for different people? So like, for instance, if I'm addressing PSIA or Aussie, which is incredibly difficult to get national certification and buy things like Subarus at cost, I could have a very specific thing in my head. And if I was addressing motocross, it would be completely different. Those are my two fields. Which one do you have the most first-hand experience yourself, and which one have you overcome yourself? I've gained national recognition in the snow sports world, and I've had hands down one of the best coaches on the planet. And I think that's pretty much arguable with anyone that I've ever worked with. Then you can use that. You can mention your expertise in your title and your statement. Work with a world-class, renowned expert in X field, a former professional, former champion. If you've won any national, international awards, mention that. Don't play small. Mention. I had one person in one of the previous classes. She was a superstar, and she closed $30 million in 7 years in tech sales, but she was afraid to mention that. Hey, that's gold. Mention that you closed 30 million. I had one person who was the marketing director for Alex Hormozy, and she was not mentioning that. I said, what? Are you crazy? You mentioned that closed the deal for you right away. Again, if you have any success, any titles, any accreditation, mention that loud and proud. Because again, just like in real estate, there's a cheesy line, location, location, location. In business, there's the same thing, which is differentiation, differentiation, differentiation. What can you do to set you apart? What can you do that's going to elevate you from being just another person doing what you're doing to being seen as the expert, the authority, the leader? So whatever way you have to differentiate yourself, to elevate yourself, to separate yourself, hey, say it loud and proud. Even if you have to tattoo it on your forehead. Maybe not far, but you know what I mean. So yeah, guys, mention your achievements. Don't be modest. For example, Randy, you were a successful coach for years. You have many of your students that went on to become not only NBA players, but also NBA champions. Mention that. Don't play small. Don't lowball yourself. Don't hide.
You're exactly right.
Because people, again, we've worked a lifetime. We've made so many sacrifices to reach that. And once you reach that, why would you keep them for yourself? Why would you not share them? Does that make sense, guys?
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Beautiful. Carrie, next.
So a couple of things. I help people with XYZ. Can you have it as, can you put a question instead? And also, could you mix it so you can have in one part, I help, and another part is you ask them a question, but it's still the same
Yes.
information?
You can put, for example, are you a struggling coach, a coach struggling to get leads or get any visibility? Absolutely. But this
Okay,
is just a formula, a blueprint, just to get your creative juices flowing. There's more sophisticated ways, but first, I don't want you guys to get too overwhelmed. Start with this. If you can get clarity by implementing what I've been sharing with you the last 2 days, again, identify your zone of genius, identify your gifts. Ideally, the avatar is you just a few steps away when you were starting, and then implement that. Call out your audience. Don't just say people. That's very vague. What do you mean? Who's people? Are you working with men, women? What age group? What industry? What specific, whatever. Be as specific as possible. Again, remember, the avatar has to be something that resembles you as much as possible, that can relate with you, resonate with you, your message, that can identify with you. And even more ideally, that's the ultimate goal. You are your avatar when you were starting. If you can craft your message, your offer, your podcast, your business, the way you wished existed when you were starting just a few months, a few years ago, you're golden. That's the ultimate goal. Because you will be speaking in a very passionate way from the heart, and a compelling way, where you don't need any notes, you don't have to do any research, you're not talking on say the environment or the economy. No, you're sharing your story. And by sharing your story, you're displaying your expertise. And but when you do that, that's when, and you speak from there, that's when people really open their heart and then their wallet for you. You build your trust.
So, oh, sorry. So I write, so this is what I have been doing. I help men and women between the ages of 35, 65 go from being caught in the grips of past childhood trauma to being confident, empowered within 10 weeks, living the life they love.
Beautiful. When you say childhood trauma, can you specify what specific one, and what specific would be, which one did you overcome? Because again, it's about sharing your story so you can really connect heart to heart with a person who's going through the same thing that you went through and successfully overcome.
So emotional trauma.
I had multiple. There was a lot. So
okay,
that's why I can see it as a bigger area.
Okay.
But you're right. What I'll do is I'll see if I can be at one focus, because then that'll get to the person and make sense for them.
Childhood
I think
trauma.
what would really help you guys is this weekend, take say 30 minutes, an hour, map out your life on a piece of paper, write down all the crap, all the trauma, tragedy, abuse, betrayal, heartbreak, struggles, disease, everything you've overcome in your life. And then at the bottom, write 2 things. What did I learn? What was that trying to teach me? What is a lesson for me to learn to that? Nowadays, whatever I'm going through, I always look at it. Remember what I said earlier about the power of questions, not asking why me, what did I do to deserve this? Why is it happening to me? Why, and why like the little B, but ask empowering question. What is this trying to teach me? What is the lesson for me to learn to that? If you look at everything from that perspective, then you realize what they truly are. They're gold for your own evolvement at the soul level and at the physical level. So again, map out your life on a piece of paper. And at the bottom,
stories you can tell.
Yes, and then look at this piece of paper or whatever, and then see which one speaks to you the loudest. You will know it instinctively. And that is...
Okay, so what I'm getting is that what is probably the loudest was having someone, knowing someone was there to guide me through what I went through. So it wasn't so much what the person's going through, it's having someone there.
If that applies to you in a situation, then that is where you can build your messaging and offer around it. You can be the guide, the mentor, the biggest sister to help the person who are going through what you went through to overcome them. Because when you were going through that, you wished there was someone by your side, holding your hand, so to speak, to guide you, to reassure you, hey, you'll be okay. This is what you need to do.
Mm.
You can be that person for them. Say, hey, I went through that. I overcame that. I wish I was someone. But guess what? You don't have to suffer in silence or alone. I am here for you.
Mm.
Because I went through what you're going through. I know exactly what you're feeling to. Actually, I have one of my dearest students. Some of you may know her, Zoraida Morales. She's been a cancer survivor for 15 years. Now she's a cancer coach.
Mm. It's great you said about the guide, because I always prefer to be known as a guide rather than a coach.
Absolutely. I'm with you as well. Or a mentor, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. That's helped me see it in a different perspective. And possibly, yeah, it's coming down the funnel. Thank you so much for that.
Very welcome. Also, rewatch this, go through the slides, but again, do the exercise, especially the one this weekend where you sit alone, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, map out your life, all the chapters, whether they're positive or negative, and then 2 questions at the bottom. What was that trying to teach me? What is the lesson for me to learn to that? And then look at it, stare at it, and see which one speaks the loudest to you. And then you will know your answer, because again, it's not something I can teach you. You know that. You know, listen to the voice, to your gut feeling, to hunches. See which one resonates with you the loudest. You guys know how to do that better than anyone can teach you. So just do it. So this is the basic formula for crafting Irresistible GodFather Offer. Play with it. And then I would love if you guys were to share your findings inside the Facebook group today and tomorrow, tonight, whatever. Can you guys do that? Okay, cool. We've done that. Okay, so that basically concludes day 4. Tomorrow, it's gonna be even better day. I'm gonna be bringing an amazing guest, my dear friend Misha. Still can't say his name. Zvegin Self. Anyways, Misha Z. He's a very prolific podcaster. He specializes in getting you on a podcast tour, which is going on 50 podcasts the next 100 days. And these are podcasts where exact ideal audience hangs out. That's going to be a very powerful talk. I'm excited. He's been back in all of my challenges so far by popular demand, because he's doing something incredible. And even me, I'm one of his paid clients, because what he's teaching is incredible. So make sure you be here tomorrow. And before any further ado, here's my invitation for you guys. Book a one-on-one brainstorming call with me for next week, so we can have a heart-to-heart conversation to get to know each other better, and also see how we can implement all of these for your business, because I would love to brainstorm with each of you on these calls. But if I were to do that, the calls would go for hours and hours. But let's set up a time, every single one of you, book a call with me, so we can brainstorm, get to know each other, and see how this can be implemented for your business. I really want to help you guys and serve you at the highest level. All right, now let me stop sharing my screen. Now it's showtime. My dear friend, alumni of my podcast academy. Speaking of that, she's launched 2 very successful podcasts. She was one of the first students of the first class back in December of 2021. And boy, she's been flying through a podcast. The podcast has opened up the world for her. She's going to talk about it. And also, of course, she's a very successful, prolific, not only author, a publisher. She's done countless #1 international best-selling books. And she's here to talk to us about something powerful: publishing on purpose, writing your business, generating brand book, and sharing your story in a way that's, because when you combine podcasting with books, I can do an entire talk on that. It's an unstoppable combo. I think I have let me give some more praise for Mary. So I did 4 books with her, 2 as me as a contributor. The first one, Sacred Surrender, was launched in March of 2022. Then Revolutionary Leaders, July of 22, both are #1 international best-selling author. And then one day I was having a chat with her and she said, hey, why don't you do your own books? I said, what do you mean? I said, well, you have a podcast, you have this established connection, relationship, trust with them. Why don't you just invite them to share their story in your books? So, and we did it, first one in September of 2022. And then the last one right here, just recently, all of them #1 international best-selling author. This blessed me with me not only sharing my story, but also blessed me with another stream of income. So again, books can be incredibly powerful. Without any further ado, enough talking with me. I need to rest my mouth and get some drinks. Mary, it's yours, my friend.
Hi, thank you. Can I share my screen, darling? Please?
Oh, yes.
Please.
Let me. I hope what I've been teaching you guys has been helpful in getting your creative juices flowing to get you the clarity you need. Because again, I might sound repetitive and boring, but there's no secret sauce. There's no magic SEO, or there's no funnel. There's no chat GPT. There's no metaverse, or whatever other crap they can come up with. It's all about trust. At the end of it, it's people to people. Trust, rapport, building relationships, and clarity. Back to basics.
You're making a lot of sense to me, Payman.
Thank you. That is great. I love that. Mary, I'm going to shut up. Take it over, my friend.
Thank you. Not thank you for shutting up, but thank you for letting me take it over.
We'll have a talk
Can
after about that, Mary, okay?
Oh, that's not the screen I want anyway.
No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Hold on. Let me get the screen that I desire deeply to have in front of me. Let's see. Let's see if we can get it right here. This is what I desire. And let me just see if I can't find the record button on my own. Great. Welcome, everyone. Hi. So thank you, Payman, for inviting me to share what I know about publishing, what I know about messaging, what I know about building relationships that last lifetimes. It started here with Divine Destiny Mentoring and Publishing. My name is Mary Gooden. I support soul-inspired coaches, mentors, visionaries with their nonfiction self-help books and journals. These are people that are seeking visibility, impact, and prosperity. This is a VIP service, and I help them write and publish their book in 90 days. I like to call it a brand book. You can think of it as a business generating book, whatever it is. It's
Or business
really
card.
Yeah, it's a business card. It's really about creating deep relationships with one another, being vulnerable, being honest, and being courageous enough to share our life, to share our message, to share our experience, knowing that we will inspire at least one person. You've heard of the ripple effect. You've heard of the, I like to call it a wave in motion. And so this is who I be. I'll tell you a little bit about my story if you'd like to hear about it. I consider myself a hybrid publishing company. Let's see if I can not go too fast with my slides. And what does that mean? What's the difference between hybrid and traditional publishing? Has anybody ever wondered what that is? Does anybody care to know what the difference is? Thank you so much, Matthew. Yeah, so as a hybrid publisher, I like to think that we get to do the things the way that we want to do the things. Does it mean that we lack experience? It means that we don't have a vice grip or cling to control of your message, your mission, and your vision. That is really the biggest difference, if you ask me. Hybrid publishing allows you to maintain the creativity and liberty of your book. If you've ever heard about traditional publishing, if you've ever done it before, if you know somebody who has, or you're just completely like, I don't even know that there's a difference in publishing houses. Traditional publishing houses like to have a little bit more control. It's called censorship. And and it is an older program. It is a strategy that has evolved many years ago. But that is one of the things. They like to take complete control. 90% of the proceeds and profits from your traditional published book will go to that publishing house, usually for no more than a minimum of 10 years.
Wow.
So good luck if you're thinking about making a passive income or making a primary income off your message using a traditional publishing house. As a hybrid publisher, you also get to make all the decisions. I am here to guide, my team is here to support, but the decision, the words that you choose, the message that you decide to share, that belongs to you and it's your decision. You get to make all the decisions and have complete control and freedom to implement your creativity. The book is yours 100%. With my publishing, with hybrid publishing, with the self-publishing offers that I have, it's under your Amazon, it's under your Ingram Sparks, it's under your name, it's under your bank account, it's yours. You might pay a little bit up front, but everything is yours. The copyright, all of it, it's your book, you wrote it, it's your message. I just want to see you shine in it. That really is my goal. I said it earlier, I am really just head over heels for creating loving and lasting change on purpose by being my most authentic self. And that's what writing has done for me. What else? Hybrid publisher, quicker turnaround time, right? You've got a smaller team. I love when the emojis come up, and you've got a more intimate setting. You're not going to send 6 emails before you hear back with a question about your book. I promise you that. And you get professional assistance and guidance. Traditional publishing houses usually have a very large team of people all over the world that you probably never get the same one twice. And you've probably experienced this with really big companies. It's hard to get a human that has a heart on the phone. With hybrid publishing, we are heart-centered. I'm here for the soul-inspired friends. That's what I do. I've got publishing and PR. I work with a lot of public relations. I teach people how to get featured in magazines, podcasts, and summits. I learned from Payman, the best of them, how to host a podcast, how to generate leads from a podcast, how to monetize a podcast. Summits do much of the same thing. These are stages. And if there's one thing in you, give me a 1 in the chat if you know you came here with a purpose to change the world, to inspire the world. Let me know in the chat. And I've already seen it with some of your messaging. Your biggest passion is to see somebody else's life come into a harmonious place, whether it be health, wealth, freedom, coaching, whatever it is. That's what we're here for. I work with marketing and offers, just as Payman guides you through. When everything matches, your podcast, your brand book, your high ticket offers, when you're playing the matchy game, there is no question who your avatar is. There is no question when a client's audience hears you speak, if you're for them or not, or if they're for you or not. There's no question. And then community and networking. That's my number 1. I love people. My whole life, I've loved people. So what's my whole life story in about 2 minutes? I'm a corporate dropout. Most of you might recognize I spent 25 years serving someone else's dream, climbing that broken ladder, which I read in the messages here, of success. Somebody else's success, somebody else's soul-inspired success, not even one of my own. Get this job, do this, you're good at this, go to college for this because your dad did, your mom did this, your grandfather did this. We come with a long list of doing things in a way that other people think are best for us. And my body panicked in that stage. 20 years into that, my body actually started panicking. So I dropped out. I finally decided to choose the prioritizing of my own comfort, the divine desire of my own heart, my God-given mission and purpose. And much of you might know, once I relayed this message to my family, which was my husband at the time, my husband, I like to call him, my 2 daughters, my mother, my sister. The other shoe dropped. A year later, after I chose all of me, I ended up divorced. I ended up a single parent. And I ended up in a place where I had just lost my income security, my financial security, because I'm a single mom. Well, my dream was to teach fitness and yoga. And if anybody knows anything about that, with 2 small kids, I couldn't travel all over the place and become a well-renowned fitness expert. I bought a local gym in a small community, and it paid the bills and it satisfied my soul. At that moment, that was enough. But when I became a single mother, that wasn't enough. Long story short, I made it. Here I am. I made it on a wing and a prayer. On a wing and a prayer. What do I mean? I made it because my heart, my mission, my purpose was ready to soar. And my prayer was a relentless faith. I got on my knees. I created my 3 non-negotiable processes, which I won't really get into much here. The claim it, create it, and celebrate it strategy. Right? We talk about it in all kinds of different ways. You hear coaches talk about the 3 things. I'm writing in my book about the 3 things. It's in my first book that I wrote, 33 Abundant Affirmations. I rebuilt my life, not from scarcity mindset. I took my second chance and I built it from the truth that abundance is my birthright, that my message, my mission is monetizable. And it's not all about money. It's all about impact. But when I have more money, I create massive impact. I've watched it for the last 3.5 years. I've been a hybrid publisher. My first 12 months, I was a 6-figure virtual business. I never saw it coming. In fact, I put all kinds of things in front of me that says I wasn't worth it. I didn't study it. But the one thing I had, the one thing that you have, the one thing that we all have was a story. And you know what the truth of my story was? What I like to really share in my story was the only reason I had that 25-year experience, panic attacks, corporate dropouts, a divorce from my high school sweetheart, was so that I had a story, that I could relate to people who felt broken, that I could relate to people who felt betrayed, that I could relate to somebody. And the minute that my mentor for publishing came in and said, I've got a global audience. I wonder if you're willing to share your story. I said 2 things. I don't have a story and I don't write. 15 minutes later, my soul took over my fingers and typed the words yes.
Wow.
It was an out-of-body experience. I swear it was. But I was in a place in my life where I was using mantra. See the slide. I was using affirmations. This is one of the affirmations in my my last book, 33 Abundant Affirmations. I am open, willing, and committed to exploring the magic and mystery that I am. Now, if you know anything about Snow, he's a great friend of Payman's. One of the things that he was captivated by me is one of my affirmations that I shared in a book. I am open to receive all that the universe has. But for today, so we can unlock some stuff for you, I want to focus on this energy. I want to focus on the openness, the willingness, and the commitment. So if you have some paper in front of you, if you like to write, you like to color, you like to draw, just write down open and leave some lines, and write down willing and leave some space, and write down committed. Write down those 3 words. You can write down the whole honking thing. I think this is being recorded. You can use this every day for the rest of your living life if you want to. My gift to you. This is a powerful affirmation. This is a really powerful statement.
What are they again?
So,
Open, willing, receptive?
Open, willing, committed.
Committed. Okay. Thank you.
Can you all see my screen? You guys can see the screen there too, huh?
Yes.
So yeah, so this was powerful, and it's going to be powerful the way I get to show it to you in the next few minutes. So that's what I did. My actual life story, my message, that the one thing I'd learned in 25 years became the catalyst for my soul prospering on purpose. Did you hear that? The story of my life became the catalyst so that my soul could prosper on purpose. But it wasn't going to happen if I wasn't going to use my voice. I did want to throw that in. It wasn't going to happen. I said yes to sharing my
Sorry,
book.
Mary, say it again. My story, wait. The story of my life became the catalyst so my soul can prosper.
Of prospering on purpose.
Okay.
Of my my soul, our soul, your experience, your life here, those things that you've heard, abundance is your birthright, or maybe, there's some tokens in the Bible. I won't cite the Bible right now, but ask and you shall receive.
Mm-hmm.
These things are true.
They're not
You will receive what is aligned with your most authentic vibration, your most authentic self, your soul. And yeah, sometimes it will feel like a challenge, and sometimes it will feel like a celebration. Either way, it's valuable. This is my practice. Either way, everything that shows up in front of me is valuable. My 25-year relationship that I thought was till death do us part was the most valuable experience in my life for me to become the very best version of who I am. And being willing to forgive it and let go of it, icing on the cake. Okay, so I am open, willing, and committed, right? 2 in the chat if you're open, willing, and committed. I got to know that you're open, willing, and committed. So she said, write your story. I said, what am I going to write about? Nobody cares about my divorce. Okay, I'll write about my divorce. Wow. Wow, did I learn so much about writing about me, my experience. And this is what I mean about being committed. This is what I mean about being willing. This is what I mean about, I'm going a little too fast. Let's go back. Let's not give put the sprinkles on the cake just yet. 4 months later, I wrote another book, Slimmer to Payment. I shared another story. 8 months later, Divine Destiny Publishing was born. Took me 3 months to get my first client. Within 12 months of announcing my publishing house, I made my first 6 figures, which was way more. Well, not way more. It was definitely more. It was about 20% more than I was making at the end of my corporate executive leadership. So what I thought I had given away and then ended up divorced with perhaps no money and no means to provide for my children as they grew. About 4 years later, became my biggest bank. My story.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched others do it. And I was so passionate about it after I did it. I just knew that I wanted to hold space for people like this to use their voice, like payment and podcasting. I wanted to hold the hands of people that were ready to share their message, to publish their book, to write their story. Global audience, high visibility, massive impact, prospering on purpose. I wanted to share the how-to on this game. Now, so here I am. Hi. I call myself a speaker. I'm an author, a publisher, a mentor, a retreat facilitator. I am the CEO of my brilliant life, all because I started writing. What is a brand book? Anybody wondering what a business generating brand book is?
It's basically a book where you share your story, display your expertise, and talk about your industry, and that's going to be your most powerful business card. I've been using this in the first one when I went to event. I love networking, I'm an outgoing person. Hey, what do you do? And all that. Say at the end, I say, can I have your business cards? I don't have a business card, but here's my book. You should see the reaction. They get, what? You have a book?
Oh, they love it, right?
Having a book elevates you in the mind of the person you're talking to without saying a word, to being seen as an expert, an authority, and leader. Seriously, this is your greatest business card, because business card, 99% of the time, they end up in the bin. And the ones you do keep, you have no idea who's that from the next 24 hours. But a book, nobody's going to throw it out of the way.
True.
Throw it away. Sure, it might sit on someone's desk or shelf for a while, but one day they will pick up and say, who's that guy? Who's that girl? Oh, I remember her. Let me get back to her.
Or they might leave it somewhere, or they might give it away. It's always ever present. It's an evergreen piece of property that 100% belongs to you. The business generating brand book is really a short book. It's a 100-page, 125-page book or journal that showcases your beliefs, your expertise, your passion, your avatar, your purpose, your practices, and inspire the readers to take action. Inspires the readers to take action. What are the benefits? Authority. You see the word author in there? Authority. Head of the line. If you want to book a stage, if you want to book a podcast, if you want to book a summit, and you tell people that you have a book, head of the line. Head of the line. Oh, this one's got a book. They're an expert. right? You've got massive impact that you came here to make, a massive impact, high visibility. You know, you get passionate when you start talking about your stuff. You get excited. I know I do. Some kind of fire brews up in me and my chest kind of feels like it puffs out a little bit and I sit up really tall. And then passive income, prospering on purpose, third benefit. Passively or primary income, depending on how committed you are to showing up and sharing your book. I mean, there's limitless ways you can use your book to prosper. And you learn all about that in my workshops. You learn all about that in my courses. Here's the study. Book reviews reveal that shorter books create more impact because they are concise, and 8 to 10 readers actually finish reading that book.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what reviews will say. Traditional publishers will tell you to write your memoir. I think your story is really important. I think your memoir is great. If you're an entrepreneur, purpose-driven, soul-inspired coach or mentor, your memoir is important. Short stories are important, but your brand book is going to bring your audience in a whole lot faster. And it's not about, what is it about? What is getting a bigger audience about to you? It means something different for everybody else. I came here to create loving and lasting change. So a bigger audience means that I'm making this thing happen. Like I've got a stake on earth here. Like I'm changing the frequency. And the more people that see me, the more I know I get to change the frequency. I get to create more love. I get to be the example of what else is possible. So this is what it is. It's easy peasy. Right? It really is easy peasy. So what fears are coming up? Do we have any fears coming up? Do we have any questions coming up thus far?
Christine
Like
raised
what?
her hand. Christine raised her hand.
Christine.
Yeah, Mary, I was
Yeah.
going to say that I went to a seminar just only in the last few weeks where the person speaking said that don't worry about writing a book because everybody's got a book. It doesn't mean anything. And that didn't sit right with me because I think books are very important. And I do think it establishes, you know, a certain level of expertise that people respect. It depends on the kind of book, I guess, but there are people, a lot more people who haven't written a book, you know what I mean? So it's got to have some impact. And
You're
I
right.
do agree with what you've said there, that it builds authority, credibility, and you just might be speaking in your book about a topic that really connects with someone.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. 2%, only 2% of the population are published authors.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
You know, I like to think now, this is a statistic that I probably took in even late last year, I heard it, but I like to think I have launched over 18 #1 international best-selling books, both between multi-author and solo books. And I've been a part of more, probably 30 book launches. Okay. And I like to think that maybe because of all these beautiful hybrid publishers we have out in our community, that we have actually increased that to 3% of the population. 3% of the population are now published authors because of hybrid publishing. We grabbed another 1% and gave people courage and a platform to share their concise, beautiful message with the world. Matthew, I see your hand up, darling.
Thank you. Let me get back to figuring out if I can see your face again. And there we go. Okay, now I can see your face again. I have been working hard and taking a lot of classes on figuring out how to bring my words to paper and become a published author for a long time. I actually didn't realize Geraldine is on this call right now, and I was sharing some stuff with her, and I felt distracted by what I was doing. And it turns out that that was actually my divine inspiration in my book. And part of the reason that I moved to the location I moved to was on a mission to finish my book. Any advice for being able to be concise, get that down to 100 pages, and be able to have it a hybrid, if you will, of what was the specific word, that be an example of what I am on top of the specific yeah. Any advice for me on?
I love that you bring this up, Matthew, because a lot of times we don't want to call a spade, but it becomes a piece of almost accountability, like sit down and do it. You know everything about it, but then we put in our way that, oh, I'm not ready, or, oh, it's not the right time, or I need to be, and I get divine inspiration. You know, I live in divine inspiration, but there are times I confess to that I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling divinely inspired to write about that topic. And a lot of times I feel like I'm just moving away from it. What has helped me, and all I can share with you, is what, in my experience, what lit a fire under my bottom to get this message out and to write my first book. That book, 33 Abundant Affirmations, was actually a 2-week process from idea to Amazon. And I know this is a miracle, and I know the book is a miracle. And the only reason is because every time I tried to step back, the universe, divine inspiration said, you already know how to do this, you're a publisher. You already know how to do this, you're a publisher. And it's, for me, it's always been small group accountability. It's just been being in the energy of it. I was successful at my podcast because I went through Payman's course and I was in the energy of it with him for 3 weeks, and I got it done in that time period. And some people operate really well under that and be inspired, because I can't tell you how many masterminds I've held as a business mentor where we just come on and share this one little thing that doesn't seem significant to us. And then the feedback immediately is divine inspiration of something, one word we said. So, only again, speaking to what I know that has supported me. I have many courses online that are 24-hour access to hold accountability for people that can't always get on scheduled places and be in places in certain times because of divine inspiration. I like to do a lot of my writing on the land, and then I feel like, why is this always coming to me in the shower, or when I'm hiking, or when I don't have anything to write with? But I've learned how to bring things with me, right? And voice messaging. If you feel like it becomes something like this, and this is for everybody. Like I turn the computer on, I open the document, and I just start voicing it to yourself. Use an otter, use an app.
Speaking of that, if I may piggyback on that, Mary, one of the fastest, most efficient way to publish your first and next book is through your podcast, because a 200-page book is about 60,000 words. And one lousy 30-minute podcast episode is 6,000 words. So you don't even have to write it. Just fire up your Zoom with your notepad, key points, and start talking, even 5-10-minute increments, and then transcribe it. That's it. You have a book in.
Payman, do you know these people?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know these people?
Yeah,
That's a
Leslie
great-
and
that's a
Jaime
great idea.
and yeah.
Leslie and me and Justine, you may not know, Justine and I and Jaime and I, and this is only just a short 2 weeks of my life, mind you. I want to stop for a minute. I want to just speak to you from a place of heart to heart. Why else was it a priority to get my message out, to get my book out? And Matthew, I hope that I answered some of your question in some way, shape, or form.
Well, could I get a really short question?
Please.
Do you feel that 33 affirmations also was a branding of who you were? Did you feel that also combined with the brand book?
It came through as a
froze.
whole download. So I was frolicking down the street of Sedona, and it all just came in. I've been using affirmations for the last decade, which has been it's part of the energy work that I share and retreat work that I share, of how I've shifted my whole life based on changing my mind. And so when it all came through is that divine inspiration, all the affirmations that I had used over a decade that felt important to be in there, everything just fell in a line. It just all came in. And then the branding design, which is the cover of my book, and I had a copy over here, it seems has disappeared. came in as a branding image 3 months prior. So there was, because I pay a lot of attention to my life, there were all the bits and pieces that they then just reflected back, like, oh, you have this, and oh, you have this, and oh, this is here, and oh, you're a publisher, and you know how to load up, and you know how to upload, and you know how to format, and you know how to, it became all about that instead of you can't or you won't. It became all about that. But it came in very sequentially and with really specific, I don't want to call them conditions, but processes. But I'm glad I did it, because this is what sharing my story and publishing books has done for me. Created really inspiring heart-centered relationships. I met Jaime. He is the picture, probably you're looking at it on the far right, the biggest picture. Jaime I met through Payman's podcasting.
Amazing,
and then I went,
amazing person. Yes.
I was in Santa Ana last month, and Jaime welcomed me into his home. He cooked a meal for me. He introduced me to his daughter. I felt like I was at home. I really felt like I was home. And gaining a global audience has increased, home is in me, and I already understand that, but has increased my ability to be more comfortable with who I am and be more comfortable around people who can see me and who can see me. And it really has opened up the gates of that kind of soul-aligned connection. Jaime was in 2 of my books also, 2 same books that Payman was in. Actually, it was kind of just a connection there. And then his daughter was in a 3rd book. Jaime also did a book partner with me on lucid dreaming, and his daughter was in that book, a 9-year-old, our first 9-year-old author. So the one in the center is my friend Justine. She was in one of my multi-author books. We met at an in-person stage. Where were we? In New Orleans, because I was working on my stage, getting up on stages, real stages in person. And I met Justine there, and then I met her in LA, and she hosted at her house a sound ceremony and invited all of her friends to her home so that I could share a sound ceremony with them and we could connect deeply. And then Leslie, I met through Payman, was in one of Payman's books, and she too, very heart-centered, joyful, amazing human that I've met online that then I've got to turn around and actually experience in person, real heart-centered relationships. And that's why I believe in publishing. That's why I believe that your message matters. That's why I believe in this publishing on purpose so much. So those are my people. That's me. That's the real me. So here we are. We're going to get through the 3 keys. We're going to be really excited about it. This is not rocket science, friends. It doesn't take us all night. There's 3 keys to writing your business generating brand book. I had you write down those 3 words, right? Open, willing, and committed. So number 1, just like I just talked about, be open to write as a loving witness to your experience and journey. What do I mean by that? Witness your story when you write about it. This completely changed my life. I got to witness my own story. I got to choose to see it as valuable instead of as a mistake or a burden. Be a loving witness as you write your stories, as you share your message. Don't be in a place of judgment or expectation or condemnation. This is really important. People can see right through you. People can see right through your offers. One way I like to look at this. What is this? Another way to look at this. Have the courage to be honest. If you can be this loving witness for yourself. So think about that. There's no question with your audience, with your clients, with your community, if you can be a loving witness for them. There's no question. But you first have to be it for yourself. This is important about any time that you're sharing your message, but this is a good way to be in your book. You get honest, you get courageous, and you're the loving witness as you share your story. You can tell by the way that people write if they are being this way for themselves. Because if you can't be it for yourself, newsflash, you're really not being it for someone else. And I'm not the bearer of bad news. I'm actually the bringer of brilliance. Love yourself deeply. You've heard this. Because in loving yourself deeply, you actually learn how to love someone else.
Mhm.
So that's number one, be open. So write that under open. I'm open. Write an affirmation if you want to. Write it as a mantra. I'm open to be a loving witness to my own life, to my own experience, and be courageous and honest. Number two, be willing to believe that your message matters and you're worthy of the wealth you desire. Oh my gosh. No, life's not all about money, but money creates massive impacts. And you are worthy to have wealth beyond your wildest dreams. I get serious about this. You can tell. There's the cover of my book, Abundant Affirmations, another book that I wrote in Prosperity Codes. People don't like to talk about money. I get it. Soul-inspired people sometimes often hate talking about money because they think they're selfish or being whatever. No. Abundance is our birthright, friends.
Mhm.
Money helps us create massive amounts of impact right now in the world that we live in. And one thing I like to mention is sometimes we've seen some other lifetimes. If you believe in that, you've been through some other lifetimes, you've been on some other timelines, right? And there are timelines and lifetimes perhaps that existed that money was not such a massive impact maker. I get that. You know, I tend to believe, because I have so many crystals, that at some point on some timeline in some lifetime, crystals were valuable. Because I have so many of them, right? Right now, where we live, where we be, where we create impact, it requires money. Love money. It's a mantra, it's an affirmation in that book right there. I love money and money loves me. What is your relationship with money? Work on that. Be with that. Be a loving witness to it. Be a
That
loving
really,
witness to your
if I may add, I used to struggle with that, and me changing my relationship with money, that's one of the things that really helped me transform my life. So that is not cheesy, that works. I've been listening to mantras. Your affirmation have also, just like Aspired Snow, also have been tremendously helpful for me. One of the mantras you gave me was, I am open, receptive, and welcoming to all the blessings. So I took it and expanded it. I'm open, willing, I'm open, ready, welcoming. Sorry, I'm open, ready, receptive, welcoming, and tremendously grateful for all the blessings the universe has for me. And I would mention them: abundance, prosperity, wealth, health, freedom, love, joy, whatever you want. Today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and every day.
Can I tell you the truth about that? Can I tell you the truth about affirmations and mantras? The only time they stop working is when you stop saying them.
Yes.
Look, I've sat on many fences and said, oh my gosh, Mary, you're going to a place where all you're going to do is talk mantra to people. You're going to a place where all you're going to do is recite affirmation after affirmation after affirmation. Because really, things only stop working when you stop claiming them. And this is, when you get me, you get all of me. This is a big part of the process. And okay, so be willing to believe in yourself, like beyond measure. Be willing to believe that your message matters and it's worthy of limitless amounts of wealth, abundance, prosperity, whatever those things mean for you. Visualize them. They could mean loads of ice cream. They could be limitless coffees. It could be anything, but what does it mean to you? And believe that you're worth it, because you are. That's why you're here. If this is the one belief that you get to before your last breath, oh my gosh, you've made it. You're worthy. You're unique, you're worthy, and your message matters. Oh, number 3. I don't know how you feel about the word committed. I think that I had a very jaded sense of the word committed in my life, just because people always shit can the word committed. The word committed to me now, it vibrates in my throat chakra, like conviction. Like I'm convicted in my message. I'm committed to communicating my message from my most authentic self. That's where the value is. There are different practices, and I've got a slew of courses on that too, of how to attract, attune, and maintain your most authentic vibration. Also in an ever-evolving experience. But this is really important. If you're not getting the sale, if you're not getting the client, check in with, are you walking the walk that you say you're walking? Are you selling an abundance course or a money course and still believing that you're not worth the price that you put on it? It happens. No harm, no foul, no judgment, no expectation, no condemnation. I just want to make sure that I'm a loving witness to my experience. I'm going to go back to number one. I'm going to be open to being a loving witness. I'm going to be willing to share my message, knowing that it matters and it's worthy. It's worthy of all my desires. And I'm going to stay committed. I'm going to stay committed to who I am. Even when my partner of 25 years is like, it's a no-go. Even when my children say, we don't like what you're doing. My second husband, he's the most magnificent partner thus far. And one thing I told him on our third date, and I remember this, I don't know why I was saying it at the time, but it's true. It was my truth. And I looked at him and I said, I just need you to know that my mission and purpose come first, before my children, before my relationships, before anything. If I am called, I'm going. And 2 years later, Sedona called, and I was mad about it because I was like, I don't want to go, you know. It's like, and it came back to me like, Mary, you told him this. You said this out loud. And my children didn't like it either. 3 years later, my children are living their very best life because I looked at them and I said, you know what, y'all, I love you to pieces. Doesn't change my love for you. But one thing I know for sure is you chose me to show you what else is possible. So that's precisely what I'm going to do. And the only way I know how to do that is to chase my most authentic self, to embody my most powerful desire. And I'm going to stay committed to it the rest of my life, the rest of my breath. So that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. What is that? The hokey pokey? Yeah.
Yep.
The other thing I like to say is that's
I'm
my
all
story,
in.
and I'm sticking to it, right? So can I do this? Gosh, that was my first question too. When she texts me like, somebody just dropped out of the book. Will you write a story? And I was like, can I do this? Who am I to do this? Who am I to do this? Well, I know that this is a yes. I already know it because I know where you are right now. You're on Payments and Venture. Do you have a belief, idea, or passion you could speak about for 5 hours? Hands up, 1 in the chat, 5 in the chat. Do you have this? Does every single one of you have a belief, idea, or passion you could speak about for 5 hours? Do you know that 5 hours of speaking is equivalent to a 100-page book? 5 hours. Do you know that you're ready to help people? Do you feel in your bones, I got to help people. I got to tell them this. They got to know this. I got to share this. Do you go, does anybody feel that in their daily work? Like, I've got to tell somebody this. I've got to share this. Do you have the courage to be authentic and honest? This might be the question of our lifetime. That might be the first thing they ask us before they send us our souls down the chute. Do you have the courage to be authentic and honest? And I promise you, you were going down the chute screaming this big yes. I want to go. I want to go. I want to go in there. I want to go in there and see what's possible. I want to go in there and feel the ultimate vibration of love. I want to know what it's like to come to a place of safety and support. Now, these are my beliefs because these are my practices. I believe that we are limitlessly supported. We are limitlessly loved in ways we can't imagine or have ever seen before. And I don't believe that we came here to suffer. I believe that we came here to share, to stand up, and to shine our light. And if that ruffles some feathers, then you know what? I'm getting it done. I am getting it done. I am activating people. Ruffling feathers is activating, right? The birds feel you come by, they fly away. You activated them. Probably got a little scared, but you know, soon they'll learn that it's okay. They're learning through me because I carry a vibration of safety. They don't run away from me anymore. Sometimes they hang out and see how long they can hang out and trust me. And I trust myself, so I know I'm not going to do anything. My husband, he's a different story. He likes to play games with animals. Like, he loves to antagonize the cat, you know, so right. Can you do this? Unmic yourself. Can you do this? Can you?
Yes.
Carrie, do you have it? Do you have a belief, idea, or passion that you could speak about for 5 hours? Christine? Did I say that right? Do you have the courage to be authentic and honest? I know you do.
Absolutely, definitely, most emphatically, yes.
Right? Payman, are you ready to help people?
Oh, I was born for that, my friend. I was born for that. That's my mission in life. Inspire, empower, and uplift.
This is me. This is who I be right now. This is how easy it can be. And most of this slide is just about how easy it can be. I offer so many different ways to do this through self-publishing, done with you, done for you, done by you, done via online courses. But one of my favorites for the brand book, for the business generating book, is this Unlock Your Inner Author, where you write and publish your book in 90 days. This is my VIP service. It's visibility, it's
Impact, profit.
It's visibility, you know it, visibility, impact, prosperity. Payman knows it, he loves it. It's my VIP service. It's done with you self-publishing book course. 3 monthly payments of $9.99 get you a written published book done with you in 90 days. Accountability, there's live writing workshops. Preparing and publishing, there's live office hours, and of course, library. Marketing and launch strategies, there's a live community and networking. It really is done side by side with you, with me and my team, because your message matters. And if it's something that you know is in your future, it may not feel like it's happening right now. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of opportunities to get on stages. There's a lot of ways you can share your message. But this is one way that I have found that has been the most impactful and prosperous. There's no waiting game. There is strategies for everything. And when you know the strategies up front, like the whole thing is a strategy. I'm going to write it. I'm going to matchy everything. I'm going to put it together. I'm going to create a launch about it. And it's going to be an experience that I think I'm going to say works well beyond your dreams. That's what publishing has done for me. I am living in a time and a place that I could never have ever imagined. Doesn't make sense sometimes, and it shouldn't, because I've never done it before. And if something starts to make sense, I walk away because I've done that already. I want the things that don't make sense. I want the things that I haven't tried before. So what kinds of questions do you have? This is me living my best life. I was in Palm Springs a couple of weeks ago, and I found these beautiful wings, and I fit right in.
Absolutely. Melinda had a question. Melinda had a question, but I think she left, so sadly. So
any other questions?
I just want to say that I look forward to talking with you more about the specifics of things. I actually have a West Coast client that I'm going on with here in just a minute, so I have to hop off. And thank you for so much and everything, and I just really appreciate it. I've never been to Sedona, but as much as I've heard about it in the last 5 years, I must go sooner than later, and it's a hop, skip, and a jump for me. So I appreciate all of you and your wisdom, and it's been an amazing class. I love you all. Cheers. I'm
Thank
hopping
you,
off.
Matthew.
See you
Thank you.
tomorrow, Matthew. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Any other questions? Anything else? Wonderful. Well, thank you. I really do always appreciate you, as I said, Payman, for allowing me to speak about
Never
publishing.
mind.
I'm passionate about it. Your message matters, so I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Welcome. I have a
Very
question
well
for you,
presented.
Mary. I have a
Yes.
question for you. I would love to hear your take on how has podcasting helped or benefited to your life, your business, and how have you been able to leverage it to really become to find your voice, to find your, I mean, to give you the platform that you needed to spread your wings and fly high and proud.
Okay. Podcasting has been super nourishing and profitable for me. I have two now. I'm starting my second. In fact, next Wednesday, I'm doing a second round of Podapalooza, which is 9-10 interviews in a day. It's a festival. It's fun. In January, I was live in Orlando at PodFest. Podcasting is one of the most expansive ways to build relationships with your ideal audience. It's an amazing way to create your own stage. It's an amazing way to spend hours a day, if you want to, in the very vibrations and fun of what you love talking about. And what that did for me, now we're talking about me, that gets my vibration. It keeps my vibration up. So I would carry that out.
Mhm.
I spend most of my days talking about how we're creating loving and lasting change. And that I know is raising the entire vibration of the world. My first podcast was Shine Your Soul Light. I did a book on that podcast. I have recruited many authors from my podcast. I have done brilliant book partnerships with many podcast hosts, such as Payman, people that have their own stage. We do joint venture together. We create a book with their clients. There's so many, there's limitless ways you can use your own stage, your own podcast, your own YouTube channel to make being in business way easier and way more fun. My second podcast is Buzzing with Brilliance. It's all about extraordinary entrepreneurs sharing their 3 secrets of success, your 3 things. And it has, again, when I showed the picture clip, these heart-centered relationships all over the world. I'm not just limited to my little fraction of Sedona or New Orleans. I've expanded all over the world. And you know what the neatest thing is? So I'm booking a 3-week trip to Europe in August. I really didn't think that was happening this year, but I'm realizing, I used to think, like, wouldn't it be cool if I had a place everywhere in the world? When I started building this online business, I could have a place everywhere and I can just go play with everybody all the time. What I realized is I don't need that. That's even an old program. I have friends everywhere, friends that will open their door and cook me a hot meal in a freaking heartbeat. So essentially, I've got places all over the world and I didn't have to pay for them. It's built really soul aligned connections, and that changes your life. It can't not change your life. Did that answer your question?
Beautiful. I love that, because for me, the guests I have on my podcast, they're not just guests. The client I get to my podcast, they're not just a line on a spreadsheet. We become friends. We get on calls to catch up. Hey, how's your mother? How's your father? How's your son? How's your dog? How's your boyfriend, girlfriend? Just like you would with a normal friend. Just like you said, I've been blessed to make incredible, real friendships around the world. Snow, I met Snow as a result of me connecting with Beverly. Beverly connected me to Snow. Randy, I haven't met him yet, but he's blessed my life in many ways. He was on volume 1 of my Leaders with a Heart in 2022. Not this one, but the other one. He sent me an incredible gift. First of all, he sent me his book. Then he sent me an incredible gift a few months ago in Kuala Lumpur. That's a gift that a collector that is worth, I don't know, it's priceless, seriously. An incredible gift. So I've been blessed with phenomenal friendships like you, Mary. Nowadays, I only do business with people I met on my podcast. Because again, for me, it's all about relationship, trust, rapport. This is the crux of it, guys. We do business with people who like, relate, and trust. And podcasting is the best way to do so. And speaking of books, it's one of the fastest, easiest way, most efficient ways to publish your first and next book by just speaking it. Stop struggling with the blinking cursor in front of your computer. Hey, just speak it, even in 5-10 minute increments. 15 minutes is 3,000 words. You speak for 15 minutes on your Zoom, that's 3,000 words. That's actually how I wrote one of my chapters, Mary.
For all of you that want to connect with me, I'm dropping some connections
Please.
into the chat, and also a free gift. My free gift, 33 abundant affirmations. It's a mini journal. It has 3 of the affirmations in my book with 3 of the activating journal pages. That is the bottom link. So go grab yourself a gift. Connect with me in any way, shape, and form. You can always speak to me through this group. I'm sure making comments under this video. I'd love to just check in on you and also have you on my podcast. What better way to learn more about you than having you on my podcast? So if you're interested in that, connect with me.
Yeah.
If you want to join the wait list for publishing, it's info@marygooden.com. That's my email address, or just reach out to me on those socials.
Thank you, Mary. As always, powerful. I
You're
love how you
welcome.
speak from the heart, very passionate. Love that. Love playing with you. As you say, I love that. And guys, any question either for what I covered tonight, for me or for Mary, say it now. Any questions? Once, twice? Thank you, Geraldine, for
No,
being with us. Always a pleasure.
I would like to,
Looking forward-
I would just
Yes,
like to
thank
say,
you.
I'd just like to say that it was really good talk, and it was well presented. Really enjoyed it, and it helped the fire in me. It's just like I know what I want to do, and I know it even better now. So it was really good.
Beautiful. Happy to hear that. Thank you for being with us and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. The point of this is to get your creative juices flowing, for you to realize that your story matters, your voice matters, you matter. Your crap is your gift. That's the ultimate thing. Your crap matters. Speak from the heart. Identify and embrace loud and proud your zone of genius, your gift, and share them through your podcast, through your profit podcast, through your books, and so on and so forth. Through stages, and the book and the podcast, one of the best ways for you to get into stages, to get into bigger podcasts, to get into who knows, radio, TVs, and so on and so forth. So yeah, any other questions, guys, before we call it a night or a day?
It's a night for me.
Any questions, Joanne?
No, I'm just, I don't even know why I came on here, but I've just found it so interesting, and it's like a divine appointment, and those creative juices are stirred. Don't know what I want to talk about, but I'm sure I could. And so it's really enlightening for me, and I just appreciate it. And the heart-centeredness of all of this is just fabulous. So, and I'm at a crux point in my life, and it's just like things are coming to me right and left, and I know it's time for me to bloom.
Absolutely. I was just looking at the screen at all of you guys, and I was just magnetically attracted to you, Joanne, because the whole time you were beaming, you were smiling, you were laughing. You had a beautiful smile on your face. We're just watching Mary speak, watching us talk, and you were just smiling. That's beautiful to say. So keep shining a light, keep wearing your smile. Yes.
Thank you.
Christine, any questions? Comments, compliments?
No, it's an awesome place to be here in this,
Thank you.
environment. I've really enjoyed the last 2 days of being here. Thank you, Payman.
Pleasure all mine. Absolutely. Carrie, any question? Any parting questions, comments, feedback, compliments? Either from you or Mary? All right, come back to you after Carrie. Angela, you're still here? You've fallen asleep. If you've fallen asleep, I won't blame you. It's like what, 3 o'clock in the morning for you now? I think you're in La La Land. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. And Randy, brother, any questions?
No questions, Payman. You you threw out another fine program tonight, like you always do. I tell you, the bar is set so high. I don't know how you do it, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
because I love doing what I'm doing, and I've been speaking from the heart, and that's what happens when you speak
Yeah.
from the heart. You share your story, you display your and by sharing your story, you're going to be displaying your expertise in front of people that can really connect, resonate with you. All of us here connect, resonate, identify with each other. That's why we've been saying here, you guys have been attending this call till 2 hours into the call. For some of you, it's 10 o'clock at night. For some of you, I don't
Yeah.
know what time is it. For Angela, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. For Christine, is what, noon for you? 1 p.m.
Yeah, it's 12.
Yeah, lunchtime
Noon.
for me is 9 o'clock in the morning. For Coach Randy is basketball time.
Yes,
Basketball.
always.
Yes, the ball
Yeah,
never
7
stops rolling.
p.m. for me.
All right, guys, if you have no more questions, thank you. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your time. And I'm honored to be able to serve you, to bring you these amazing guests, which are my personal friends, people I do business with. I know them, I trust them, they've been vetted. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow night, because it's going to be another beautiful session tomorrow night, and an even better, not better, an equally amazing, inspiring guest. So I'll see you tomorrow, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. And for you, Angela, I think it's, sorry, not Angela, is going to be same time, 1 o'clock in the morning. And for you, Christine, you're in, where are you again? Sydney or Perth?
I'm 2.5 hours north of Sydney.
So it's going to be starting at what, 10 a.m. your time?
Yeah, it's 10 a.m.
Okay,
I'm on
perfect.
Sydney, Melbourne
Okay.
time. Yeah.
All right, guys, see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Payman.
Enjoy your day. Have a fantabulous day. Keep shining your light. Keep blessing the world, and keep wearing your smile. All of you, especially you, Joanne. All right, take care.
Okay,
guys.
thank you.
Ciao.
Catch you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.